Okay, so while Roll20 is being an absolute douche for me, what did everyone roll?
10 for Jortes, 15 for Sarah, 25 for Thorok.
Okay.
Seems we're going up pretty quickly.
Okay, so it's a Silent and Torin left.
Next person who rolls need to roll a 40.
Anyone who rolled below 15, though, go ahead and roll. Go ahead and roll me a d6.
Including
You told
15
me I didn't
or
have
just
to roll.
below? Enjoy elements.
Below 15.
Oh, I got a 6.
Endure elements means you don't need to roll. With that, you take 6 points of non-lethal damage, and you are fatigued.
Oh, this sucks.
It counts as fire damage for the purpose of resistances.
Just as long as you have that non-lethal damage, correct?
If you heal the non-lethal damage, you are no longer fatigued, but it will come back if you know.
How quickly
Also,
do you recover non-lethal?
You recover non-lethal by any healing spell, or by resting in an environment that isn't causing you to take non-lethal damage. Such
I just remembered something. I can use a survival skill to give us bonuses to against heat and stuff through mundane means. Basically, just like here, wear this like this. Stay out of direct sunlight. Cover yourself in cool water.
Thing with that is, I looked into this myself. It doesn't stack with hot and cold weather outfits.
Yeah. Oh.
The outfits are generally considered to be as if you were taking the survival. Almost.
Okay, that works.
I think you can only get a +2 from it anyway. So
yes, you are
Never mind.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, to get rid of non-lethal damage, you must either receive magical healing. Alternatively, you must spend time in an environment that isn't causing you to gain the non-lethal damage, aka a cool environment, at which point you recover at the rate of 1 per 10 minutes.
Actually, no, that's not true.
Basically, I need to go and spend an hour in the river.
Thorin, I was wrong. Since we're not traveling, you can get it up to +4. So you can get us an extra +2, but that wouldn't have helped Jortes.
Well, while we're waiting for Sideline to do his rolls, I'm just going to quickly BRB.
My eggs are almost done.
Maybe mage armor.
I was just asking that.
It feels good to have resources.
Yeah, I generally assume that you're giving me mage armor every day, so...
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't really been doing that when we're... Yeah, I haven't really been doing that when we're been flying, so... Just kind of book me every so often and be like, you done it? And I'll be like, okay.
Yeah.
And usually I have the first level slots to waste. I don't think I've ever really ran out of first level.
Only
Only on.
Early on you did.
Yeah.
That's just
but
because that's what
that's all I
happens.
had. Also, I refused to use my bloodline abilities. Well, I didn't refuse, it's more about very just kind of me.
Yeah, they generally are, considering they only count as first level unless you spend points on them.
Well, second level for me, because I've Ascendant Bloodline.
Yeah.
Or Ascendant Recollection. Which means that they also count as 10th level for me right now.
Interesting.
It's really good for when you have ones which, like, trip people and stuff.
Give yourself extra bonuses on that. Speaking of which, I need to remember that now whenever I do my style strikes, I can do a style strike for a free trip attempt.
Wait, you have wolf style?
I'm back.
No, it is a there is a style strike called leg sweep. Where
leg sweep.
Yeah, during my full attack, I can designate one of them as a leg sweep. If it hits, I get a free trip attempt.
I dare you to try to trip the giant centipede.
No, because it specifically has bonuses against that. Also, I think those are literally you cannot trip them.
Pretty sure.
I mean, how many pairs of legs do giant centipede have?
Not enough.
Not a
Centipede, 100 pair of legs.
Yes. Each pair over 2 grants a +4.
No. I think at that point it's literally you cannot trip them.
Oh, not 20.
It would have 4 plus. It would have 4. So it would have 4 times 49 being plus 196 versus trip.
Now the stat page it literally says it can't be tripped as well.
Yeah, because the thing is, nothing can roll 200 on a CMD show.
Nat
True.
20s, you just somehow slide and leg sweep down the entire body.
No.
You just like the
Yeah,
guitar. You do the slide which people
Here's the
have when they're
problem
doing
with
the solo.
centipedes, though. Okay, so it flops like a good foot onto the ground, and then it just gets back up again, like the same motion.
Yeah.
They're long and sinuous. It doesn't matter if they're, tripped, because they're already low to the ground. It's like tripping a snake. There's no point!
Well, trips. The reason snakes can't be tripped is because they have no legs to be tripped.
Actually, yeah, that's true. Either having too
hope
many
so.
or too few legs gives you the can't be tripped thing.
Okay, so if we chop off our fork's legs,
If you have beyond 8 sets of legs, you can't be tripped, essentially. And if you have below 2 sets of legs, you can't be... Well, if you have below 1 leg, you can't be tripped.
okay. So next time we go into combat, we just form a mecha. Can't be
If you
tripped.
somehow have -1 legs, then, we've got a thing going.
Physics are conspiring against you if you have -1 legs.
It wouldn't be the first time.
I think that's when you have like some weird appendage that goes inside you and kills you. What bloodline should I go?
We are in the desert.
I
So
know.
I am quite worried
Heat-based
about
ones
how
might be
your
good.
train of thought went from strange appendages that are inside you to what bloodline I should have.
Well,
aberration and
I do not have
ectoplasmic
a
and
train
all
of
that.
thought. I could go aberrant. It does give me tongues. However, I don't really have much of a use for having long arms beyond to like gently caress Rock from across the
Well,
bar.
no. Here's a reason to creep people out and also to annoy people by poking them around corners.
I had a half-leg sorcerer that did that. He would like to creepily caress people from 10 feet away.
PRB, nosebleed.
It was a
Apparently,
freaky little thing that-
all of this seductive caressing is too much for J-Mac.
Also, Big B, another great use? Oh, so here comes this normal human. They go ahead, and with the long arms, they pat the giant on the head.
You know what else is good? Being able to reach the top shelf without having to get a
Back.
stool.
That's the pure advantage for the halfling aberrant. They can reach the top shelf.
I'm talking to my D&D group, and one of our people is considering going a bloodline that makes them have long, noodly arms.
Tell them it's the classy nerd.
Oh,
I'm living by that nickname.
So
I've
you
just
don't wanna go
some
by vanilla?
No, stop.
I shall never stop.
It's okay, she can't hear you right now.
The friend who did that said he's going to like pop in the chat and start saying more embarrassing stuff. And like, if you do that, I'm literally going to electrocute you.
Well, he's welcome to.
Nah.
Damn, I can
Refuse.
level off of getting the 10-foot increase to your reach.
I'm not particularly bothered by that. I have like no touch attacks.
That's fair. Yeah,
Also,
that
I
is
have
true. It is only limited
Also,
to
I
the
have reach
attacks.
spell.
Yeah, you're kind of fine without the long arms.
Long noodle arms.
I prefer like what's it called ectoplasm, mostly because I can use that to like ghost move stuff, like I did in that manner. However, I've kind of passed the point where I need like my body to lift things. I'm magically buff.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know. I mean, are we agreed that we should do some sleuthing?
I think sleuthing might be needed.
Then
Yeah.
I might do Harrow. Mostly because that allows me to be like spoopy and be like, ho ho ho, I know the future. Then fall down like.
You might want to make
Sure.
sure that you can. You might want
But
to
I
get
can-
a license for harrowing, though.
Nope, screw it. I'm beyond the law. Wait, is there bloodline for that?
Not.
You do not need a license to do harrowing. You do need a license for public fortune telling for profit.
Yeah.
Nice. Hey, for profit.
But it's explicitly for profit. So, also, yes. Yes.
Personally, JMac, I prefer non-profit organizations.
Oh, it's a random Harrow card for the ninth level ability.
Yeah,
I guess that's...
yeah. Honestly, like most of the licenses are about like, oh, you're making a business out of this thing, then you need to pay for it. As many of the real life licenses actually are as well.
To be honest, I'm actually really good at using divination spells thanks to Bloodline Arcana for Harrow. +5 to result of divination spells, and roll twice and take what percentage you prefer.
Pretty
That's
good.
pretty fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
It also increases his maximum percentage to 100%.
Yeah. So I have like what does Augury work off base? 70
It's
plus
70
1, so I have an
plus-
84% chance of success and another reroll.
Nice.
And if you somehow get a thing to give you even more percentage, you can get it up to just 100%.
Yeah. Could always get the Dragonbane Divination Sticks. I actually really like those. They're really nice. Do I want to go with that though? Let's shop around a bit more. I feel really hot. Weird. Maybe I could go Martyred. That feels applicable here.
You want to be a martyr?
5%.
Viva la Revolution!
You know that
Die.
luck bonus to a random save every day is pretty good.
What the...
What?
Dark was gonna say a thing.
Dark.
Dark.
I think
Speak,
Dark.
Cat.
Dark.
died.
Dark.
Con.
Well, the way JMac, but as I was saying, those divination sticks, that +3 luck bonus to one save of your per day is pretty good.
That's what AO had. That's why I always roll the D3 at the start of every session.
Oh, okay. Makes sense.
Why do you think my saves are like absorbently high half the time?
Because
I guess
you
that's true.
do bullshit. You
That's
do
true.
shenanigans.
Plus multi-classing into 2 classes that give you wisdom bonuses to will saves.
Yeah. And reflex. And fort. That's pretty good coverage.
I will admit I was quite jealous of AO's saves.
Let me just go pull up that character sheet.
Yeah, AO's saves were pretty astounding.
9, 10, 18. Not including the +3. Meanwhile, Sarah's are 7, 8, 7. That's good for
the
shiz.
Rakshasa bloodline wouldn't be bad.
Torn is 7, 9,
Non-detection
5.
is nice.
Yeah, there's also the fact that you gained, you can give yourself +5 bluff checks as a glibness.
God, Torn has an abysmal will save.
Join the club. Jortes is 5, 10, 4.
My spell children, which I love very much. You're all weak-willed.
Torn is supposed to be.
I know, he's impulsive, and he decides to go, like, jump off a mountain.
I would argue that...
I only jumped off a
Jortes
mountain
is
one
first.
time.
Shunda ended up as 11, 8.
He's really not all that impulsive. He's just got a touch of madness and instability to him, which kind of leaves some cracks and holes for people to get into his mind.
In other news, by the way,
Hey, he's back.
as I continue to crap out internet-wise,
Ah.
It's going to be one of those sessions.
Oh, he's crapping out internet? Go get the shovel.
right, next, suddenly Assassins kill Torin at GG, new character needed.
We're free!
He was our
this would be
healer,
the
you fools!
This would be the worst place for my backup character to show up. I'm gonna go fix him up because it amuses me.
Because
Pistachio of the gunslinger.
you know, yes, your backup character would work great down here.
Mm-hmm.
Trust.
See, I'm just working off the assumption that Sarah won't die, so I don't have one yet. I don't want her to die. I feel like having a backup character is admitting that at some point she's gonna die. I don't want
had
that.
a backup character, and then we started the other session. And now my backup character is my main character.
And honestly, don't you enjoy having condescending main?
Oh, I am enjoying it so much.
You see, I follow the line of logic that if I have a backup character, that means I'm prepared for it and I'm expecting it, which means it's probably never going to happen.
Oh. Speaking of which, Tinder reminds me to do the thing tomorrow. Since we have to like us meeting up. So that Orbit can cry for like 5 hours.
Dark, will Arbok actually meet up before things happen to Celia?
No.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
I suspected that would be the case, that's why I haven't done anything.
Get caught in
It
whatever
turns
that thing in Harry Potter was.
both groups have severely screwed up.
No. I'm better prepared than her, though.
Oh yeah, she is so crippled right now. So very crippled.
All you needed was 8 hours of rest, but no.
Yeah, you've also crippled Devlin and Eyrie.
Hey,
Oh, really?
that's all James's fault. He
It really
started
kind of is. It really kind of is his fault.
Like, we've been together for like 3 days. I'm surprised something didn't happen like earlier.
You guys are slowly going insane from that you can't get apart.
Bloodline.
I'm going to carry my laptop downstairs for a second. Come and see if I can get a better connection on that.
Yep.
Cool. +1 insight, but I never activate that in time, so that's kind of
You see,
useless.
I have recorded evidence now of you all saying it was James's fault.
Like, drama is enjoyable.
It is. I'm just hoping I haven't killed at least 2 of us.
I'll be fine. I can like climb trees and crap.
You'll be fine. I won't be. I can't climb trees, and I'm not a good runner.
Just run into the ocean. Be like, oh, there
I
she goes.
can't swim.
Exactly. Then you wash up on another desert island with people who look exactly like us, but their names are slightly different.
I'm not sure that's how it works.
Like, look, there's Ekans, there's Jonathan. Wait, hold on. I'm trying to think of more names, but they're not really coming. Okay, I give up. But you get the gist.
Yeah.
Blood. Ooh, I should go psychic.
Psychic is good.
Yeah, I go
Especially since
psychic. But
it
then
can
again,
be
if we're doing
stealthily cast.
information stuff, I should probably keep Maggie around because she's kind of my knowledge powerhouse.
Wait, did we have a meeting with the treasurer today? Was that set up?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
might want to go like Imperius or something for that.
Maybe. Well, give me a little good diplomacy. It's just I never really talk at these things. I kind of like faff a bit in the background, being like, "Ooh."
And when you do talk, you're generally lying to try and get your bluff.
No, this is the issue I've realized. Or no, this is the issue I realized way back in like when we were in a very fancy hotel. There, I was like, "Can I do diplomacy of this?" And he's like, "No, it's bluff." And I was like, "Why am I doing that? My diplomacy is awful." Like I have a +16 bluff, but like 7 diplomacy. Why am I doing this to myself? Yeah, let's go Imperious. It's been a while.
Yeah, I have quite the opposite issue in that Jortes is trained in diplomacy, but because of his job and the kind of things he does, he tends to have to roll bluff a lot.
I mean, I could go Rakshasha.
Really, you two need to swap skill points.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, actually, he has so much more skill points to me. Do it.
Hi, I'm here. I'm sorry.
I said,
Yay.
Sideline,
Hello.
what would you say against heat?
Okay,
it's getting hot in here.
Remember your hot weather outfit if you have one.
I have.
It's getting...
Have you been wearing it
+2.
though, Obi-Wan? Instead of your artisan heat?
Where's my Imperious thing? Blah, 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 blah. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
But I don't have too many types of clothes that actually give me bonuses.
That's because you only have like 1 set of clothes. You're like Vilma.
Exactly.
I mean, on the other hand, if Torrance wearing his hot weather outfit, he can't really be wearing his blue
He's
coat
not.
that
He's
well.
wearing his Courtier's outfit.
Oh wait, shit, it's +5. No wait, it's just +4.
Okay.
There's a valid point there, like, you can't be wearing like your jackets or your like iconic outfits with your hot weather outfit on. By definition, they don't really work together.
Once again, I'm glad Thorok's a monk.
I'm kind of
can
sitting
fit
here
into
thinking I
almost
should go
any
buy myself a new lab coat, a silken white lab coat. That would count as a hot wear outfit.
Oh, a lab coat. I have a reason to have a lab coat.
But yeah, it's true though that Thorok's monk outfit pretty much works with no matter with what kind of outfit you want to. Oh, you want a cold weather outfit? Okay, add some furs.
Mhm.
Oh, you need a hot weather outfit? Add some just kind of cover
Soak
it
in
in
some
fine
turban.
silk.
Yeah, just replace the
28.
You're fine. It's like DC 15.
Thorok just needs to
Sideline.
replace like the wool that it normally is with.
Sidelin's
chill
a robot. He doesn't get tired. Or
Could you chill for like 3 seconds?
No.
Sideline
Sideline has no chill.
And sideline, Your issue potentially is like sideline expands because too much metal.
That is
Sideline
the
gets
best
fat.
damage.
Something else I kind of remembered. It doesn't matter if Thorok fails his save because he's immune to fatigue. It's just
Yeah.
the non-lethal damage.
Yeah, but the point is you take the non-lethal damage that won't heal by itself without you getting out of the hot light.
Yeah, but it's a D6.
Yeah, it's
Less
still,
than
it's still a D6 less health.
True, but I honestly don't expect us getting into too many fights here.
we haven't
don't
found
know
out.
once we
We haven't
arrange.
found out what Sarah's done yet.
Very true.
Okay, that is
It'll be
true.
fine. We will fix whatever problems that I've caused.
Did you do?
No, she's not denying she's caused problems. She's just saying whatever the problems
But
were.
we know she's caused
I-
problems. It's
I can
J-Mac.
realize. I can. Wow. Excuse me, Mrs. I remember a very specific city. Maybe a couple of months ago. Jeez. Mr. Crow for Adventure, pin this on me. Look, it'll be fine. We've probably dealt with worse. I hope.
Yeah, you can actually intimidate people.
Yeah, for once. Jesus Christ. I feel like I never use Intimidate.
Because it's a standard action and it's almost a waste of your action economy.
I know, it's a lot better for like
This is
This-
why I really like the Omen trait.
Mm-hmm. Garvin has that.
Or if you have Dazzling Display, you can do it with hand action to everyone around you.
No, Dazzling Display's a full round action.
Okay, 4 still
Yeah.
it affects everyone around you, though, which makes it significantly potentially better.
Yeah,
so
but this ability is
it's
also really
be
good because I can do ABBA.
You also tend to be a melee guy with
Yeah,
that,
no,
and
take
so
a
you're
chance.
foregoing like an attacks or anything whenever you do that.
It depends. You could be. I've seen bards with it before.
True, they're not bad ones to have. They generally shouldn't be in close combat unless they're built around that.
The point that they can be an arcane duelist in close combat, that still works.
True.
And the whole reason they remain close is to allow their close range spells to affect their allies easier.
True.
And be flanking buddy.
Yeah, thank you, buddy. Yeah, you have like plus 16 diplomacy.
So, Team PC. You wake up in the morning. I suppose you discuss all of the things that you have discussed.
Probably.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any further comments for each other, or anything in particular your characters then decide they want to do?
Tora's going to see everybody and just say, we're going to go meet some high-class people. Why are you all dressed like goddamn peasants?
I'm in my pajamas.
Thank you very much, but I'm wearing the standard outfit of the ancient empire.
Because
I-
I'm
and
too
I-
damn hot to care.
And I'm a monk of a monastery of the north. I am in my standard outfit for
Look, it's fine. That's why we have these armbands.
If you
You-
really insist, I can change, but it's so hot.
When are we actually heading out? Is the
Stuart,
question.
could you go help Jortas?
I am capable of getting dressed by myself, thank you.
It'll be faster if you have help.
Wait, did you see me?
No.
Okay, good.
When is the meeting scheduled? As well.
Soon.
I mean, we're right around the
How
corner.
soon
We'll be
is
fine.
soon?
Go get changed, and we're going to go leave and get in line.
Uh,
Oh, Glee, more lines.
Dortes will go and get changed into his courtier's outfit.
Sideline cast prestidigitation on his white coat.
It's a slightly cleaner white coat. Or do you wish to change it to, or do you want to change it to some 8-bit color?
8-bit color white.
Okay, it is 8-bit white of the color code 255.
It is the whitest of whites.
It is so white, it is reflecting so much light. It is ugly. It's just kind of like you kind of have to avert your eyes a bit.
Perfect, Sideline says.
Wow, that's whiter than my hair.
Wait, Torrent's hair is only like 244.
Oh my god. Okay. Everyone, best behavior, large smiles.
Sideline attempts to smile. It's kind of creepy.
Please don't. You just look normal.
Keep your faceplate on as well, please.
What? Don't do this.
Yes, yes, exactly that. Do not do that.
Okay.
Weird.
Oh. Wait, sorry, hold on. I did that a really bad time to take a bite. Can Sarah take that sword that we got ages ago, which we decided never to use?
Oh, I know which one you mean.
Yeah, that.
Ceremonial
The one which,
sword.
yeah, the one which gives like +2 diplomacy and intimidate.
Where was it? I had it written down somewhere.
I completely forgot about that.
I didn't.
What sword?
We got it
the
awarded
ceremonial
for...
sword of honor. It's a silver long sword that grants anyone equipped with it +1 diplomacy or +1 intimidate.
It was a +1? Yeah. And can I steal that off of Rylan?
You can try to steal it off Ryan. So it's like,
I'm not going to steal. I mean, like, borrow. Rylan, play... Wait, you come with us?
Doesn't really want to.
Okay, you don't have to come with us if you give me the sword.
Unfortunately, Rylan is kind of representative of our group's standing.
Well, so is Elliot.
Come on, Rylan. Please.
This sounds like a diplomacy joke.
But we're still diplomacy check. Look, I'll give you this massive onyx as collateral.
It's not really about collateral.
Wait, what? Where did you get a massive onyx from?
Don't ask.
I am asking.
32.
That is definitely enough, given the base DC is, I think, 14 for Rylan.
I could make that on a 1.
It turns out Rylan kind of likes you guys. It's like, come on.
Come
Look,
on.
Actually, if the base DC being 14, that's... I'm kind of surprised it's even 14.
Torrens is
Good
going
friends.
to facepalm and go, you do realize we're being disarmed at the door, right?
Yeah, but it'll look cool. Disarmed.
You'll look cool up to the door. I'm sure
Exactly.
the guards will look at it and go, yes, you look very cool, and then take it away.
Exactly. First impressions matter so much.
Not to guards, generally.
Well, mate. Look, never pass up Vincent's to look cool.
What noble is going to say, well, I mean, I suppose I could let you do that. My guard said you looked cool.
A cool one would do that side thing.
No,
Like, I don't expect you to understand with robot emotions.
Okay.
Considering
So,
just want to quickly say, considering what Torrin said about us being disarmed, Jortes is going to leave all his poisons here, because he doesn't want to hand them over to the guards and have them thinking he's, up to nefariousness.
You have a license.
I know,
you're not gonna
I know.
you still
not
don't
doing
want the
so.
thought that you're coming to assassinate or something in mind.
Yes, especially if we're going to be telling them about Escorin's plans.
Are we?
I don't know. I'm just putting them aside as a just in case.
I don't think we should tell anyone. Like, I think we should just not follow through with what he plans.
We'll see how the circumstances change when we get there.
Yeah.
Okay. So, the group decides to, the group decides you want to head out towards the Sun Palace.
Yes.
I am careful to not look directly at it.
Okay.
Because it
So
is
the group-
shiny as hell.
So if you look in the top right of the screen, you will be able to find the gleaming picture that is the sun. That is what the Sun Palace will somewhat look like for you. What precisely for all of you though is you head to the end of this district you're in, and there is a large gleaming gatehouse that looks golden, though on close inspection isn't. It just looks golden.
Nice.
And you go up to it. There is a long bridge over what is a maybe 120-foot drop, 130-foot drop.
Yeah, don't jump off, guys. I wouldn't recommend it.
The bridge is about 60 feet wide, and there are guards stationed along it ceremoniously. And then there's another gatehouse, and then the bridge kind of turns almost into stairs and a ramp.
More stairs.
It's not steep stairs; they're pretty shallow stairs because they want it so the ramp you can still like have a cart easily driven up it, and all. But it slowly goes up until the point where the drop is about 300 feet, very slowly. It's a very long walk up towards the palace. When I say very long walk, I mean when it comes to crossing a city, not really, but frustratingly long still. You go past several gatehouses and many guards, slowly moving up towards this glowing. Really, it does seem to be glowing with the reflecting sunlight off of it. As Jordan said, you might want to avert your eyes very slightly. Of the gleaming palace at the top of the hills, which is clearly huge in scale. What you're seeing there is merely just the front of it.
So much shine.
I like looking at it. It's nice.
Just don't burn your eyes out.
I can't.
I'm pretty sure you possibly could if you stared at it.
Well,
long enough.
okay, I could, but I could replace them.
But as you head up, you eventually get to the top. A
Yeah, that
large.
reminds me. When we get back from this meeting, I should go pick up a pair of my smoke goggles.
There is a large open courtyard at the very front of the palace with various people around, talking and various other things. A combination of lowborn, midborns, and highborns, all talking to various people in this open bit in front of the palace. After also moving through what would have been the 5th or 6th gatehouse on the way up.
Jeez.
Defensive. You have to give it defensive.
Mm-hmm.
Sieging this would be incredibly difficult by sidelines and analysis.
So difficult, I haven't done it before.
Sideline has tried before, in fact, which is the fun bit.
Yeah.
And the thing is, back then, it was worse condition. It wasn't as upgraded. It's even worse now.
They've had a couple thousand years to make improvements.
I shot that statue in the head.
And they've rebuilt it, and now made it out of a stronger material.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you shoot the statue?
Missed.
Aiming for the guy next to it.
I could understand you missing now, being, rusted and old. But back then, I thought you would have been more accurate than that.
I was. I never said I wasn't bored.
You
I
were
want to
so
find these
bored.
people.
So you guys are in the main you current guys in the main plaza in front of the palace. At this point, you have not been disarmed or anything. You are just in front of the main palace's at least the front section of the palace. The front section, the front meeting house,
Mm-hmm.
which is what's in the picture there. Because that there is just the public meeting house. That isn't like the main section of the palace where the king lives. No, that's just the meeting section at the front.
Oh, jeez. Talk about exuberance.
They're a king. What are you expecting?
Humbleness would be nice.
I'm starting to believe, Sarah, that you have unrealistic expectations.
Yes.
For once, I actually.
Only just realizing this?
But do you wish to what exactly do you wish to do? There are fountains about, some lovely grassy patches with actual flowers, some shaded canopies of benches, people around talking
I
to
will
each
hold
other.
out some toast for some birds.
Very well. A couple of birds. So those birds are probably not. There aren't that many things of nice small birds around here. There's eagles.
But then I will hold out some toast for some eagles.
An eagle takes your toast.
7. Do we have a set time for this appointment? Do we have to go notify someone that we're present?
Yes, I'm gonna go take care of that. Find us. Sarah, you have tongues prepared, right?
Nope. Did we not bring translated women?
He doesn't prepare. tell him
Yes,
he's-
we did. I just
You
wanted to be sure
You have
that.
your guide here. She will not be accompanying you inside, but she will accompany as far as this courtyard. So,
Thank you.
Alright, well, let's go.
and as it stands, she will go ahead and grant. She will go ahead and grant the group everyone will receive tongues for the next 20 minutes.
Thank you.
Yay.
She has, like, a cash level of 2?
No, tongues. You split the duration.
Oh, right, okay. Oh,
Yeah,
bear
Torn's
with
gonna
it.
go find whoever needs to notify that, people are here and present.
While he does that, Jortes is going to find somewhere to cool off. Because it's hot, and we're now in a big metal building that is also hot.
There's a
You're not
fountain
in the
right
building,
there.
you're in the courtyard,
Well, yeah, next to
which
it.
is surprisingly cool, actually. Though there are many places to shade yourself around.
Right, he's going to wander up for a minute, find the place that feels the coolest to him, and just sit there or stand there if there's no chairs.
That's probably one of the pavilions.
Yep, going there.
There are various people around. There is just a fountain in the middle, which you've seen some people fill up glasses from.
Yep, will get himself a drink as well.
And there are various people around talking. And since you have tongues on you can even understand them.
Ooh.
Some of the people in the pavilion currently talking basically sound like they're journalists,
Oh, God.
Huh.
or the closest you really get to.
So, are they talking at all about what they're doing here specifically? Is he about to do a press conference?
Well, more kind of. They are here to indeed speak to a member of the council. They are here because they have a meeting with the court magister,
Ooh,
the
fun.
master of magecraft, newly appointed only a few weeks ago.
Hmm.
Is that who we're talking to?
No.
No, we're talking to Treasure.
But they were newly appointed after the previous magister somewhat expired.
Oh, was that Vidud who's assassinated?
The guy who was assassinated, yes. This is his replacement. And also the youngest magister there has ever been.
Perhaps we should go find the old one.
He's dead.
Oh, shame.
That was the thing I wanted to investigate, but this takes priority.
But then you run off into the desert.
Part of investigation is asking questions. You could just ask the journalists about it.
I could.
Also, something to keep in mind.
I'm also writing notes.
Also some peasants about complaining about taxes to each other, as you do.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, Sarah's gonna go mingle with the peasants and be like, "Oh God, taxes, they're the worst, aren't they?"
Okay, yeah. Sarah can mingle and join in the discussion of taxes in a negative light. Is there something she wants to do here? Is it just raise her try to earn a bit of an opinion with them, or what?
Mostly just okay. I know people argue about taxes literally all the time, but I want to see kind of like the volume of the amount of people who are kind of arguing about this. Does this seem like a very big issue? Does it sound like a recent issue as well within like the past few years, or is it maybe because of like the whole entire like thing in the south, or I guess Pier? The volcano.
Okay, this sounds like either a sense motive or a diplomacy check.
Diplomacy, please.
Because you're trying to either ask questions or get a gist of the current conversation. So.
Wait,
Would you like
would
Thork
this-
to go with you?
Well, no, this is a question. Oh, if you want, but also a question: does this apply to humans?
I would say 60% of humans, so yes.
Okay, I got a +4. Nice. That brings me to a 17.
If it's 50%
Yeah.
are humans, I'll give you a human bonus. If not, well, I say humans. Technically,
fuck.
if 50% have the human subtype,
Okay.
so 60% of them there are half elf, half orc, or human.
Yeah. I think it's just I get a +4 insight bonus when learning about humans using certain skills.
If they're the human subtype, they count for them. So.
Yeah, learn, study, or gather information about humans.
Well, indeed, you kind of try to discuss with them, complaining about taxes as you do. Sarah is very familiar on how to complain about taxes.
She did work in, like, whatever the fuck it was.
I mean, nobody likes taxes, right?
Library. No.
It suddenly just started pissing down outside.
Well, treasurers like taxes, I suppose. We're about to see the treasurer.
That's because it gives them money.
It's kind of their job to do taxes. I don't know if you realise.
Look, Viva la Revolution. Seize the means of production.
Down to the treasurers and tax collectors.
So you're going to join the proletariat?
Yes.
Well,
I don't know if I meant.
there's a few things going on. The peasants don't seem to entirely understand the whole economic depression thing,
Ah, okay.
which is certainly not helping the situation where they feel like they're getting taxed way more than they should. Because the taxes have gone up, but they've kind of had to kind of go up a little bit. Though the taxes have only gone up for certain things. Magical goods they've gone up, for example, but for food they've gone down actually. But the thing is, the peasants don't see that because the food is still more expensive than it used to be.
Yeah.
So of course, the price got times 3, and then they lowered taxes to try and compensate, bring it down to times 2, but it's still higher than usual. Well, for food it was actually times 5. They brought it down to times 3.
Yeah. Still a lot better than everywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying, but there's a limit to how much you can compensate.
Yeah.
That's without bankrupting their own government. So that's the thing. Yes, I know about the suggesting a course of action.
Mm-hmm. Sure
They
Sarah
are
knows.
pretty good rules to have.
Yeah, I remember I used that at one point. I forget against who, but I'm pretty sure I was playing Halius at the time, and he managed to succeed by like 2 or something.
Other than that, though, I mean, there are various complaints from the people, and overall they think the taxes are too high overall, which...
So just smells and nods.
Peasants always think the taxes are too high.
Mm-hmm.
So Sarah doesn't get anything too discernible about it, largely because Sarah is not too familiar with tax collection.
Taxes exist. Sometimes you have to do them.
Does Sarah have profession tax collector, profession merchant, or profession barrister?
Unfortunately not. Our barrister's away, like, faffing about somewhere else.
Sarah is not too familiar on how to do tax collection.
Thorn's familiar with tax collections and frankly thinks the peasants are being silly. The taxes are what's currently feeding them.
It's true, like the free healthcare, taxes.
And Torn also understands the economic situation just from, like, basically deduction. He's just like, oh, magical reagents are going up, but food prices are going down. Obviously, they're using a lot of magical reagents to feed you people.
Yeah, but magical knowledge isn't a populous thing.
Yeah, taxes. Yeah, between taxes and salt mining are two common, very large incomes for the government.
Fair enough.
But the peasantry are a bit riled up by this though, and they're a little bit dishappy because they're really broke.
When are they not?
They're more broke than usual though because economic recession.
It's understandable. Well, Sarah's made a friend.
Anyone else particularly want to do anything in the main foyer before I move to Torin? Or the main, well, not main foyer, main plaza before I move to Torin.
Nope.
Are there any people like?
Tired.
Are there any people that are They seem like craftsmen.
Probably. There is very likely what you see as a group of stonemasons.
It wouldn't be unreasonable to find like a guild representative here.
Yeah. Yeah, would there be a guild representative? Either the constructs, clockwork, or what's the term? Gunsmithing?
Of gunsmiths, yes.
Sideline will say hi.
They are currently seemingly just talk with other random merchants, which you kind of move up. It seems to be a rather chubby dwarf. Admittedly, a chubby dwarf with a pair of pistols at his side.
Aren't all dwarfs chubby?
Possibly.
Yes.
No.
Looks at the
not at
rock.
all. You look at Thorok and you see literally rock.
Chubby rock.
Round rock.
Hello, my fair Hello, my fellow marksman.
Ah,
He
nice to
moves
see a
towards your
fellow
rifle.
person around here.
A fellow person.
Person of
Hello,
my
I am also human.
The basically red sticker on his forehead argues otherwise.
rubs it off.
It doesn't just rub off.
I know. I've been meaning to ask. I've been traveling around the world, and well, you can pretty much assume very quickly that I am not very from this time period. And one thing I have been very saddened by is lack of gunsmiths around the world. And I've been curious if you would have any sort of new technologies that I could be, shown to by this new age.
We don't have a habit of revealing our secrets, I'm afraid. We have some of the best gunsmiths around. We even beat up the dwarves north of us, beyond the mountain wall.
I see. Sideline smirks slightly.
And we must keep our company secrets, of course.
I can respect that.
Still, if you wish, please come to the various gun houses around the city. We won't disappoint you, I'm sure.
Sure.
He offers out his card.
And I will take his card. I'll see if I can also stop by and give a hand. I'm also a very good crafter myself.
The chubby dwarf will return to his meetings. But you now have the address. You now have the address and the card for the guildmaster of firearms for the city.
Okay, so then we'll now wait for Torin, standing perfectly still like a statue, holding a piece of toast, and see if he can get an eagle to land on his shoulder.
That'll be a handle animal check.
This is where Sideline just rolls a nat 20 because,
Bird.
Nope.
Clearly, this is a use for his night search for the day to get eagle.
Oh, dear.
I would say it would be easier to have something land on Silent because he looks human, but he doesn't move like one, and he's more like a rock or a tree than a living thing.
Still handle animal. Though.
Statue. Perhaps.
Yeah, he doesn't move very often.
Yeah, but there's still some animals have a way of knowing something's just off about Sideline.
Yeah.
We could try again when we, aren't in a desert where there's not much life. Or at least
Thorin can
not much
inform you
wildlife.
it's kind of the smell.
Aw. That looks sad. Why don't animals like me?
The smell.
Meanwhile, Torin, you head up to the main gate.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I realised my chat wasn't updating, so I've had to look at my laptop, which has got the chat on it.
You haven't missed much, don't worry.
Yeah, you move. So Torin moves up to the main gate and begins to converse with the guards about what he's here for. He's asked to show his paperwork.
This and this and this.
It's looked over. It's checked. You are asked to wait here for a moment as it's handed to another guard who quickly goes to the back to check on it some more. The guards will keep up some polite conversation if you want with them.
Sure, why not?
Oh, about that weather, eh?
The weather is not a common topic here, given it's sun and sun and sun.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you about snow. Actually, Sarah.
No. We're not doing that here. That's really destructive.
No, a hydraulic torrent straight up and make a giant pile of snow.
It's not going to go anywhere. It's like 50 degrees out here.
It will melt in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
We'll make rain.
We should show these people snow at some point. Find a way to.
I want to go around just casting magic willy-nilly like that.
We just need to get some ice elementals or something. Get some of them.
Why,
to come
Thorok? The
down.
kids like it.
Then
Well,
do it
last time
where
I checked,
where
they
there's
don't really-
actually kids.
That's actually a good point. I'll
A
hold
short
off.
time later, the guardsman will return. And he will look at Torin with a curious look for a few moments.
Something wrong?
No, not at all. Could you please assemble the rest of your I assume you haven't come alone.
No. Allow me a moment to go collect my party.
Very well.
Torrance is gonna go around and say, "Hey, our meeting. Come on, let's go.
I didn't catch a bird.
We can get you a bird later. If you want, I'll even cook it for you."
No!
Oh, it's the rabbit all over again.
Yes.
A notable thing about the guard, he was speaking in Imperial Common.
Yay?
Though admittedly with still a heavily Devasean accent. You know.
Well, Torrance gonna collect everyone and then come back to the guard.
Jortes keeps hold of his glass of water as he's dragged along.
Please follow me inside.
Very well.
As you'll be taken through into the middle of the main public house, and each of you will be taken off to quick side rooms to be disarmed.
Yep.
Use my bastard sword. Literally the only thing I took with me.
They're going to remove literally nothing from Thorok.
Yep. Here's my clubs, here's my short swords, here's my daggers, here's my hidden daggers.
Damn it, Jortes.
Hey, I'm too hot. Leave me alone. At least I'm being honest and actually showing them everything.
Jortes will be handed a small bronze key.
Thank you.
To a locker which has his goods in it for when he wants to leave. As will Torin be handed a small brass key for his stuff.
Here's my gun.
As will Sideline because his gun's being knocked away.
So...
Do you need me to take out my focus crystals for magic?
That will be unnecessary.
Okay.
Likely have counterspellers ready.
Yeah, as you're walking around, something Thorok definitely notices, and as he's kind of walking around in the various stonework of the building, intricately hidden within the various patterns on the walls. Because of course the walls have tons and tons of murals and patterns on them, but hidden even within the murals as part of the artwork, there are counterspelling runes built into the walls.
Impressive.
Would these be setting off Jortes' trap sense?
Not really, because they're not traps.
Okay, good. Because otherwise he'll get really annoyed when it's like, there's one, oh my god, why? Why am I noticing all of these things?
A couple do set Jortes off, because it's like, wait, that one's actually dangerous, potentially.
I mean, wouldn't they still be considered traps? It's just they have a different triggering mechanism.
I suppose in a way they are.
Jortes is going to get very frustrated because he can't help but notice these things. He doesn't want to, but he can't help it.
Well, Thorok Stone
notice when somebody sneezes on the other side of the ship.
Thorok's stone cunning is constantly triggering as well.
Exactly.
Now I just imagine Jortes being the most twitchy person ever.
This place is several thousand years old, and every single generation has built upon it and built additional layers of security on top. Chances are that no single person knows where every single thing is here.
Give Jortes a week.
Even Jortes would struggle because this place is huge.
I'd say Jortes would struggle merely for his memory retention.
yeah, there is that. He'd know where everything is, he just wouldn't remember where it is.
It's like, have I been here already before? Better check it again anyway.
I swear there was a trap around here somewhere. Boom!
And J-Mac, there's more than 17 bathrooms. We're talking way higher.
The whole building is a bathroom.
I mean, this building is technically made up of more precisely, 7 buildings.
That's a Pentagon level bathroom.
Yeah, and each of all these buildings are multiple floors high, so there are loads of bathrooms and stuff. Also, indoor plumbing. Actually, proper indoor plumbing to every single, even the room on the top floor.
Nice.
The various architectural work is also rather beautiful as you look around as well. The artworks and murals, everything here is rather glorious. Once you get past the main entry hall building and out into the center, which is a large area mostly filled with, various pathways, but also lots of grass, lots of statues, water fountains. Rather beautiful. It's also less gleaming now. It's less intensely gleaming that you can see it from the other side of the city level.
Good.
Thank God.
You know, put on a big flashy show at the front of the gate, at the front gates. Don't need
Yep.
as much in the middle. It's still fancy, but it's no longer gleaming levels.
No longer just flat over the top.
Mhm. Though it's still incredibly beautiful with how it's been done.
Mm-hmm.
But you'll be escorted through this area, which is also notably cooler. There is this like magical breeze running through it.
Oh, thank God. That's so much better.
Problem is, you need to spend at least an hour here to get that non-lethal damage back.
Still, it's going to start healing up.
Why isn't this everywhere? Just make the whole city like this.
Because that takes a very large amount of magic and
Okay,
also probably a
so-
massive matrix network.
So who
It would
here
be
is
worth
fatigued?
it. Hello. I
Here,
think
recover
I'm
5
the
non-lethal damage. You'll recover in like 5 minutes.
I'm the only one that actually got fatigued from that.
Jortes is just a whiny baby person.
As I said, he's spent the last year not being able to feel heat, or not to this extreme.
Torres is going to pat you on the back for 5 points of healing.
Yay, heals.
Yes, as you will head through the area. Is there anything in particular any of you want to ask the guard, or you want to try looking out for anything? Or you
How the treasure would like to be addressed would be one thing.
That's a good thing to ask.
Okay, that's not a bad question.
Yeah, just get a brief rundown of, what should we do when we first meet him? Should we bow? Should we just stand respectfully? Should we, what does he like?
We have very foreign customs. We don't want to screw this up too much.
We're going to screw it up a bit, just hopefully not too badly.
Respectfully screw up.
Yeah.
The correct way to address the treasurer, in your case, would be Councilman Roll.
Right.
Would be the correct way for you to address him. Ceremony-wise, he's not a man too really finicky on ceremony. So while he'll explain it to you, he kind of also explains that the councilman probably won't care that much.
Oh, thank goodness! I'd already forgotten half
Okay.
of what you'd said.
Okay, so just everyone be polite and you should be fine.
I'm always polite.
The councilman is a far more practical man than he.
Tor just glares at Jortes.
Sticks his
Cortez
tongue out
follow-
at Torin.
Follow my lead and just don't speak then.
Yeah, the councilman is far more of a practical man than he is much else.
I have a question. Is it just about the... Okay. Is spellcasting allowed in the main here?
To a degree, spellcasting is allowed.
I'm assuming it runs by the general thing of as long as it's not an offensive spell.
Yeah, generally try to keep it. Oh, yeah. You should. Don't go over the top with it, and try, no blasting things.
Does that mean I'm allowed to cast heroism?
Probably can.
Yeah.
By the way, everyone, tears to
buff
wine.
myself.
Everyone gets slightly drunk before the meeting.
Chug.
Yay!
It's good for the nerves.
Is Taylor Wines +2?
Plus
Five.
five at this point.
Right.
He's like cheap.
To all in tandem.
Yes, as a reminder, this
Wisdom.
is the councilman in question you're going to meet.
Yep, roll.
Yep.
He's got a
Councilman
great
Roll.
tan.
I mean, I think it's more of
Like
he's like, yeah.
Even
I mean,
if that's
he does have a good skin tan, but he's also naturally darker skinned.
well, yes, yeah, has to be assumed. But he also has a great
just-
tan.
Moment of greatness. If anyone has like heroes or morale buffs, then they can get double that bonus. Because I'm casting moment of greatness once.
Heroism and morale bonus.
Yeah, that's
That's
morale,
fine.
unfortunately.
No effect.
But I mean more moment of greatness, and don't think I'm gonna cast heroism on everyone because that's very.
Yeah, in the case of Silent, though, it's a case of he doesn't care. He doesn't understand.
Also going to be popping. What is it? Focus.
Just don't
scrutiny.
go. Just don't go over the top, guys. Okay, cast.
I was using 2 extracts. It's fine.
I know.
One of
It's
them
just
is
because
just
all
like,
of us
here,
together.
everybody, like one of them is literally just kind of like, here, everybody share a magic drink for the nerves, and I'm going to drink a potion.
I know, it's just because it's a novice.
Yeah, to give you some context on exactly how big this place is, one of your long-range spells probably doesn't get halfway across.
Oh, Jesus.
Pretty long.
Actually, honest, even your long-range spells, which are like, your long-range spells are pretty long. I mean, they're good, like, 1,000-something feet in a bit.
Probably. I haven't actually looked outward to think it's like
they
fifth
don't
level.
they don't really get that far in the palace grounds. The palace grounds are massive. They're kind of meant to be, and there are many people around, guards and people who you think are merchants, and various other people at meetings.
Yeah.
Technically, you guys are being above a lot of these smokes right now because you're working to one of the top 16.
Oh yeah. Also, we're all wearing our pins. Whoops, just let that.
Sadman doesn't take his off.
It's part of my courtier's outfit now, so.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Orc
have this
generally
prestige.
wears his.
So, not to appear rude or anything, but did we kind of get rushed through to meet this guy? Because I was expecting to, have to wait a few hours to get the meeting.
I think it's mostly because this was expected.
Yeah,
This is from us
this is
booking
sort of,
yeah.
days. Do you see why I booked us like half a week in advance?
Probably more than that, in that this is to do with an order that the treasurer himself sent.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not.
It wasn't you looking for a meeting. It was you fulfilling one of the treasurer's requests.
Okay.
We're just delivery people at the moment.
Yay! I'm a delivery boy. I miss
True.
Futurama.
Castigo Splinter.
Executive delivery boy.
Yeah, it turns out though that it doesn't take you too long to eventually get across. You had quite the distance across the city, up. Well, I'm going to say up the city. Well, essentially, it's essentially a small walled city in the way it could be considered as well. As many large castles essentially did end up being, having their own cities kind of inside their walls. But you eventually head into one of the buildings and head up a couple of flights of stairs. The building inside just as cool as the. Oh, it's actually a lot cooler than the outside was as well.
Your test looks even more relieved.
Something quite visual around is various runes in the walls, very faintly glowing, and also kind of mixed in with the murals, so you don't really notice them too much unless you're either looking for them or you have stone cunning.
Mm-hmm.
These ones are not trapped, so Jortes doesn't notice them.
Well,
Essentially, those small runes in the wall, the wall that are faintly brimming with magic, that are cooling down the air temperature.
He may not notice them, but he is very thankful for them.
Really interesting.
But Jordan notices just because it's a perception, right?
Actually, Torn's got like a plus 25 perception at the moment, so yeah, he's noticing too.
Yeah, they're very faint and very well weaved into the artwork.
Well,
Kind
like
of-
25 against specific people.
Yeah, not including my tears to wine, you're now at your test level of perception.
we're talking kind of levels of like, if you're familiar with how some banknotes, for example, have like that have the ring pattern to stop counterfeiting, but it's like some of them have it like mixed inside flower petals.
Yeah.
Part of the natural thing. It's like, it's that level kind of mixing of, you just know, like, it just seems like it's part of the picture. which is good. It doesn't take away from the atmosphere.
With test 1 out of plus 25. That's.
You also know you go through a shit ton of worth of security. You don't really get stopped by it, but it's a case of if they wanted to put this palace on lockdown, oh boy, getting out would be a terrible nightmare.
So don't stab the councillor. Got you.
You also go past a shit ton of guards, all of which are wearing the same outfit and the same uniform, the same helmets and everything.
We've got. Well, we know what to disguise as if we want to go in here.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck getting one of these, though.
They're suffering. They obviously did not read the Evil Overlord's list. Sure, Faceless Legions are great for inspiring terror and everything, but they're horrible for logistics.
That, one big problem with Faceless Legions?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody in a squadron barely gets to know each other that way. Can't
Also
see
true.
each other's faces or anything. Makes it very easy for infiltration.
You're presuming they're never allowed to take their helmets off.
You know what's really bad about Faceless Legions? It makes picture day so boring.
Also true. Yeah.
I'm just assuming they're not allowed to take their helmets off.
Well, no, yeah, but probably not when they're on duty.
They take them
Just a
off
big
in
thing.
the break room.
Exactly.
Probably, yeah.
Anyway.
Mm-hmm. Let's continue.
Eventually, though, you were brought up to you were brought up to a floor, and the guard stands up beside the door and knocks to it. It's a nice set of double doors, emblazoned with this fine crest on the front of it that none of you recognize. The crest has a few jewels very subtly kind of put in there. They gleam a little bit, but not over the top. It's just a couple of little gems. At which point a voice calls through. Who is it? Your guests have arrived, sir. Send them in. As the guard takes a step to the side and pushes the door open.
Orange will just nod to him and head in.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, does the same.
Mm-hmm.
Respectful nod.
As you head inside the office. The office is... It's respectable size. It's not huge, but it's not small. It's big enough to show some authority and to have a decent number of people in here, but it's not outrageously big. With that, sitting at the other side of the desk is a man which you got to have given a brief description of, but now you're seeing him for the first time in person. You see Vemic roll on the other side of the desk. A fine wooden desk, clearly imported.
Mm.
The woodwork.
Mahogany.
The woodwork rather fanciful. He has a number of parchments and books about, a number of scrolls, and a large bookshelf behind him, and a lovely window looking over the deep valley below.
Well, Dark. First things first, Thorak wants to get a hunch about him, as well as exploit weakness.
You want to get a hunch about him? What kind of hunch are we going for?
Firstly, I'm going to size him up with an exploit weakness.
You want to see how potent is he?
Yes, is he CR 20 or lower?
He is below CR 20.
Okay, good.
If I said no, then
I'd be like,
Oh, that would be good enough information for me.
Yeah, I'd be like, which god are we speaking to?
All right, and
are
I want.
you speaking to Carmilla's twin?
Yes.
Oh god, I knew she had everything to do with this.
I mean, Carmilla was beyond CR 20. She was like CR 25.
Jeez, tell her to calm down. Eat a Snickers.
But for hunches, I want to get sort of a hunch on his demeanor, sort of how he treats things, and how he treats his people, that kind of thing.
It's not the easiest thing you tried to say. After all, you're not really seeing an example of him doing it here.
True.
But you can get something.
Is he a friendly person?
That was the wrong perception. So let's see what I get. How's a 46 do?
Okay. You'll get some small snippets of that at least, kind of popping through. So, as you kind of see him sitting there, he certainly has a rather scholarly demeanor to him. Someone who has clearly dealt with, someone who's clearly very academically versed and has spent much of his lifetime doing such. Also, with also quite the glaze of wisdom kind of behind his eyes, where he's probably seen some more things than you could guess he's seen. He holds himself with the kind of very subtle confidence that only someone who's also seen a few battles also knows.
Okay, so likely ex-military. That's the case.
Indicating he has at least a handful of BAB to him.
All right, good.
He's clearly had to have some form of combat in the past to kind of have that kind of natural stance where he can't fully relax. He can mostly relax. He can't fully. And what most people won't notice it, Forum notices it. He's definitely someone who clearly takes things quite seriously and does enjoy order.
Lawful person, probably lawful nuke or something like that. Then
that becomes quite clear to you. By his general build, he doesn't look like someone who's particularly martially focused, though you would say. And judging by the fact that he has a walking cane next to him, it's probably a safe assumption.
His body isn't in the best shape it's been in life, but
he doesn't look particularly old, though, which makes the cane peculiar. Perhaps some kind of injury, you'd guess.
probably a mage of some sort.
Anyway, that is what you managed to discern.
All right then.
Anything else anyone wants to do upon immediately seeing him sit behind the desk and look up at his visitors with a small but confident smile?
I want to say nice desk.
Do you say nice desk?
Yes, I will say nice desk.
Oh dear.
Okay.
See, and you were worried about me.
He quirks an eyebrow, examines sideline for a bit, his eyes definitely looking at the red seal on his forehead.
Please forgive our construct companion.
It's not the first time. Please, would you like a seat? He gestures to
Yes.
the various chairs around the room.
Thank you very much, Councilman.
Yes, thank you.
Sideline will probably go stand off to the side, not using one of his chairs.
Doesn't want to break it.
Yeah.
If it is
He's
not
up.
objectable, I shall also remain standing.
This is masterwork furniture.
Best not take any chances.
Is it reinforced furniture? Is the point.
You're not entirely sure. It feels very comfy, though. Very comfy.
Comfy does not equal sturdy.
Sarah nods and chooses one of the comfier seats.
They all look comfy.
Yeah, but she uses her supreme appraise abilities to find which one is the most
Sure,
padding.
roll praise to find the comfiest seat.
Shit.
Remember,
Actually,
you have
Come
+5
on,
to
that
because
one.
Yeah,
Come
no,
on, that
so-
one.
I'll have like a general +8 from buffs.
And appraised in general isn't a difficult thing to do, per
Come
se.
on, that one.
Wait, hold on. Jeez. Why's Rushmate in there? Huh?
And if anything, I would like to have her have a nat 1 because that means it's not a nat 1 that she spent on something else.
Sure,
I know.
Sure, you find the comfiest of the seats that are in immediate range.
Your test just takes whatever's closest that isn't already taken.
Still feels pretty comfy.
Torrance is going to sit in a central position directly across from the councilman. He's
Very well.
pretty much
Torrance
the
going
lead
to-
speaker for our group right now, considering all the buffs I have running.
He's currently sitting there, rather straightly in his seat, hands kind of joined across his desk.
It is a pleasure to meet with you, Councilman Roll.
It is a pleasure to meet with you five as well. I've heard things.
Our reputation
Oh, God.
precedes us, it seems.
Hopefully good things.
Lady Hecate had some interesting words about you.
Good words, I hope. But yes, we are here to deliver a gift on behalf of Hecate Rovan Ashrine. An arcane matrix of amazing design, I must say, from the brief glances I've had of it.
It is the culmination of our joint work.
I cannot say I am not envious. It is aboard our airship in, such and such district and such lot.
I see. And the entire thing is there unharmed and undamaged?
Made sure of it.
Entirely, unless some vandal inside your city has broken into it within the last 3 hours.
Very well. You see him briefly look to the side, and his hand slides onto his desk slightly for a moment before bringing it back up.
I got to press the alarm button.
I hope your trip fared well.
Yes, it fared very well. It certainly helps to be able to take to the skies rather than the roads or lack thereof. It makes things much easier and much faster to transport important goods such as these. However, we did run into small issues upon entering your country, but those were resolved quickly enough.
Small issues? With you flying, I can only imagine perhaps sandstorms?
We flew over them, actually.
Well, fly high enough. I praise your
I
work.
was speaking more of, the signal flares, lack of speaking the language, but we were able to interpret things successfully, and here we are.
Speaking in Imperial Common, by the way.
Oh, thank God.
So even though your tongues has run out, you can understand just fine.
No, it's the treasurer. It makes sense he would know the language.
Yeah,
of
especially if
neighbouring
he's working with
kingdoms.
Hecate, it would make sense that he understands our language.
Even though they speak half the time in Draconic.
Mm-hmm.
Which would be fine, because I can speak Draconic.
No, half the party can.
Kind of useful.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're going to just make some quick checks to make sure it's properly arrived. Though, knowing Lady Hecate's reputation, should be there.
Yeah.
We would not dare to damage any goods from Hecate, especially to a member of the Royal Council.
He nods. He quickly moves his hand across a part of the desk, which is notably vacant, as all of you will all notice some very faint runes can appear if he does so.
Oh God, it is the alarm runes. We're gonna die.
Drawn into the desk.
Explosive runes.
As you see them glow for a second. No, can you please send a dispatchment to the northern docks? Bay 12. A very chirpy voice responds back. Very well, Councilman Roll.
Oh, and please, our crew aboard this ship, just inform them, properly, show them paperwork. They should let you aboard without any issue. However, they do not speak the local language, so a translator going with the group would be very helpful.
No, we'll handle that just fine. She is brilliant at her job.
believe it or not, this may not be the first time they've had to deal with such things.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but Torn is, well, Torn. You understand how he works at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Any of you-
Jortes was literally saying that.
Yeah, but any of you with spellcraft trying to work out exactly what those runes engraved in the table exactly work with, you would be able to very quickly be able to figure it out as a point-to-point sending spell.
Yep.
Here's
That was
an
my next
intercom.
question.
Drawn
Here's an
into the table.
intercom sent up.
So essentially, one room to another room in the building. The building is likely laced with these, honestly.
Silently sort of mutters to himself, intercom system. Have the same, but mechanical in nature. Similar device.
Likely, he has rooms to communicate with different parts of the building from here as well. And possibly his own tax collectors.
Oh god.
Though, probably not to every tax collector because, that would require an insane amount. Probably mostly to speak to his secretaries.
Legion of secretaries.
Then
Still,
they
though.
send off runners and such.
He will politely speak with you for some time and offer you some drinks or some very fine wine.
That sounds very pleasant, thank you.
It'll be unnecessary. For me, at least. I'm sure my friends would greatly appreciate it.
Is there something you would prefer?
No, not at the moment.
Very good.
I should also be restrained from that.
Sarah will accept some water graciously.
You can have some water.
Jortes
servant-
will also
a-
have some water. Because
He-
hot.
He will ring a small bell and a servant will come and they'll bring refreshments.
Thank you.
If you order the water, it's ice cold.
Nice.
Jortes quickly gets an ice cream headache.
Drinks
Too
it
hot
fast.
going to too cold, yep.
Yeah, dear.
But he tries to hide the pain.
The bluff check.
Oh god, why?
Because that's how you disguise things.
No, disguise is how you disguise things.
The thing is, you're pretending not to be doing something that you are, which is in this case being sneaky.
Oh, you're failing.
He does a really bad job
The thing
of
is,
it.
Jordan thinks he's doing a masterful job at it.
Nailed it.
He grabs his head. There's like a
Torrance is
small
going to
tear.
condescendingly pat Jortes on the back.
Jortes is in too much pain to, sideline fails to realise.
Oh, dear.
The councilman clearly notices to your discerning eye,
Mhm.
but you can't really tell what his opinion of it is. In the case of you realise he is remarkably good at hiding his hiding his thoughts.
Yay, same.
Yeah, and
Actually,
that's quite impressive considering how well I do sense motive at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I see all of his weaknesses. Or at least enough of them.
He's very good at just not showing much emotion at all.
But Bigby, you can't pierce the defenses that's around his heart.
You do.
Actually, I can.
Jortas is. I mean, you're with your role before. You were good enough that yes, you do discern some of it, which is he is literally amused, but is trying not to show it.
Well, the
He's really. No one else
I've forgotten the names now.
Mhm.
Jester. The Jester works again.
Jester.
Yes, Jortes. Always
Oh, and actually-
providing comic relief.
Actually, yeah, you doing
You
those
are a
things is
fool.
Yes.
true. But he's a useful fool because he is allowing me to read this treasure much easier.
Mm-hmm.
It isn't. It is surprisingly not that long, given like the time it takes you to walk down that bridge, for example. Not even that long. Probably only 15 minutes later, 20 minutes later, that you see the runes on the desk light up, and he kind of puts his hand on them. Yes, no. We have discovered your cargo aboard the vessel, and we have begun recovery. Thank you, Nona. The runes turn off again.
Must say, your people are very quick and efficient.
Yes, I do appreciate many things about your great city.
The order put in place is very efficient for getting this work done fast, and without much inconvenience to either of us.
Yes, when everything is running smoothly as it should be. I've heard some unfortunate people complaining about taxes on apparently magical reagents and food, if I remember correctly, Sarah? If only they could understand that those taxes are more or less what's feeding them.
Sometimes you gotta realize that not everyone has the education we have, however.
Yes, it is unfortunate.
Personally, I had more of an issue getting the permits, but then I'm not really one for the whole paperwork and everything.
I
handled it for you.
Yes.
I've just been trying to adapt to, well, this isn't the same nation that I knew all those years back, so.
Yes, I seen your file. Ex-war criminal.
Unfortunately, yes. Though, exorbitant circumstances.
You have files on us?
He was just following orders.
One of the conveniences of you filling out all your paperwork to get your permits is we learn more about you.
Yes, that makes perfect sense, actually.
Aye.
And when I got told that you five would be delivering something to me, I decided to look up the paperwork that he had.
Aye.
Yes.
Makes sense.
Sorry for blowing up your statues.
It is fine. But all of you have travelled a long way, especially you, Mr. Dwarf.
I have. The other side of the world for me, in fact.
Very much so.
Yes, if we go much further south, we'll have been to both ends of the world.
You've only made it halfway.
Good to know.
Which is true, the city's not that far from the equator line. So.
Yes, but considering the time, this is about as far as anybody up north would reasonably know the world exists.
Yes, I mean, you guys actually have no idea what's further south than this.
We should probably go investigate the South Pole. So maybe I could find some more friends down there.
Still, I have been told to deliver some things for you, as he reaches into a drawer of his desk, unlocking it with a key, and pulls out a small box.
Oh, sir, you are too kind.
Firstly, these are from Hecate.
Ah yes, more weird floaty gem things.
As 4 iron stones float up.
They're called ironstones, Sarah. Even I know that.
Very much aware, thank you.
You're allowed to take both of these two, and then one of these.
I've forgotten what was on offer.
I'll get them. Here we go. Where? So, Dusty Rose, Prism, +1 initiative, Golden Noodle, the speaky ones. Is there 4?
Golden Noodle to go with your noodly arms.
These are two
Missing
different
one?
golden noodles. You pick one of them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is it 4 floated though?
Yeah, and there's one other iron stone that was offered.
What did I miss?
I'll go check.
Oops.
I think this is the reward we chose.
Oh, there was one more iron stone.
Yeah, I think I missed that. Whoops. So what
I don't
noodle are
remember
we
it being
taking?
terribly useful.
And for Iron Suns.
If all else, they can be sold for a fair amount of money because
I
they're
mean,
solid magic items.
Yeah, I mean, they're about as useful as any other magical hula hoop, which gives you a slight bonus to anything.
Mm-hmm.
I would say if we were taking one of the noodle ones, I would say go with Undercommon, because we already have 3 people who know Draconic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, having someone with Undercommon would probably be very useful.
Another person with the common. You've already have one.
Hi, Sideline.
Sup. Hey, it's not my fault they bastardized my language.
You're a robot.
Oh!
Draconic is a language that hasn't changed for millennia.
Not draconic, undercommon.
Oh, yeah.
You can't. They're trying to just never change it because they're born with born with a language in their head. You can't really change the language you're born with.
It's true. So the best they've done is just add words.
It's become more complex and handed down, but it doesn't really change.
Mm-hmm.
I believe the stone in question what otherwise offered was the cracked mulberry pentacle.
Yeah, I don't remember you telling us about that.
I don't have the. I think that's the one at least.
I know we were offered a +1 ring of protection.
Actually, no. Actually, you're correct. Actually, yes, that is actually what you were offered.
Yeah, ring of protection +1 is listed on there already.
Mm-hmm.
You are correct. I actually forgot about that bit. Yes. Okay.
Right.
So it's
I don't
three
think we would-
ironstones and a ring in the box. There you go.
I don't think we would want the mulberry pentacle anyway. It's just a +1 bonus on bluff and diplomacy checks. Competence
I don't
bonus,
want
no
it.
less.
That'd be a +2 to me.
It is just a competence bonus, though.
Yeah, but I get an extra +1 while I'm
Oh yeah,
imperious.
the +1 to bluff and diplomacy. I already have that. I have that ion stone.
Yeah,
I might steal that from you at some point.
But as I said, yeah, it's actually So okay, so it's one of you get to pick one of those two golden ion stones, the other ion stone, and the ring.
Yeah, I personally think undercommon.
Yeah, we're
one.
going with undercommon.
Okay, well, someone takes them from the box.
Yep. Probably me, because I'm the one handling business at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Or Thor, since he's...
Well, I'm
Well,
going to be handing Thorok the stones and things.
Alright.
Because
So
Thor
Thor
trusts
take-
you more than everyone else to just... If whoever I hand these to will probably immediately put them on. That's bad form.
So Torin hands them back to Vork.
Come on, since when has Jortes put on random things like that?
As they then close up the box with the
yeah.
one remaining gold.
Ever since we
Golden.
began your chest, Quain. Your chest... Your quest chain.
Quest chain.
Holy shit. Brain, stop for a whole, 50 seconds there.
Spoonerisms everywhere.
Yeah, he will go ahead and close up the
Bleh.
He'll go ahead and close up the box and put it away with the one iron stone.
Great. The friend
As he
of
then
mine
goes
who's
back
watching
into
the
it-
stream right now is probably laughing his ass off.
As he goes back into his neutral position, arms kind of crossed on the desk slightly, looking at you with his faint smile. And as promised, it was said that I might be able to provide some further compensation. So, what exactly are you wishing to have in return for your excellent work? I know your line of business is terribly difficult, so I can understand that you need quite a bit of equipment.
Dev's on every Tuesday.
Equipment is useful and everything. However,
Is it safe to assume that we discussed this before coming here?
Probably you've had several weeks, and you were told by Hecate that you'd get
Good.
to try pitching an idea.
Good.
Okay,
Thor
we're go
really
Yeah,
wants to ask something about his brother, but
That's
Because
what I
I-
was going to suggest.
Yeah. I mean, we could always go the cheesy route and say a friend.
I mean this guy has my file. He has my name. He has Valthas's name. It's safe to assume he already knows the situation.
True.
Well, he might not have looked upon Balthus.
No, but I'm sure he's aware that Valthas is a thing. He might not know the details, but he probably is aware of the situation that occurred. So does anybody else have any other things they want to ask?
Personally, I was also thinking about looking into one of the other reasons why we're down here. One of the reasons we came down here in the first place was working on fixing the trails out.
Right. So, plan of action. Ask about possibly a joint effort to clear the Silk Road,
Yes.
and then ask about my brother, because that one will probably be a terminus of the conversation, either way.
Also, if we could squeeze in, maybe ask him if we could get in contact with the person's wife the old Magister's wife who's murdered, and ask if we could get into contact with her, because we might want to investigate that.
No, that would just be too suspicious.
Yeah,
I mean,
think
you could
that's
look into that
Really?
yourself. You could look into that yourself quite easily.
Yeah,
I know.
there
Yeah.
should be some basic information on that.
I don't know,
Considering
that's not the issue, just
he'll
maybe
have-
because it's like noble women, and not exactly easily readily
but-
available to people
Yeah,
like us.
You have to consider though that
they might have been the
chances
ones
are-
to
Yeah, he was
assassinate him.
probably removed from power for one of their colleagues to be put into power.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's probably not a good idea to admit to these guys that you're investigating it.
Yeah.
Depends
It's true.
exactly how deep the corruption runs in, but it's possible.
Well, I don't know.
From what I've been told, it's the entire palace.
Yeah, and treasurers are
If
always
it's-
really corrupt.
If Ascorn is to be trusted on that, but
No, that wasn't the Scorn who told me that.
oh, that was Valthus, wasn't it? Or whoever you got in contact with to learn about Valthus.
Feels weird to let it be a citywide announcement then, but fair enough.
What you'll see my announcement about that she offered a bounty and she paid for it to go on the broadcast.
The broadcasters don't care what they're broadcasting as long as it's paid.
I mean, there are limits. They're not allowed to. They're not allowed to broadcast everything. There's some things they're not allowed to say.
Yeah,
But
usually...
someone's saying they're paying for a job. Yeah, that's allowed.
Okay, so Torn's going to bring up the Silk Road and sort of try to propose a sort of joint effort.
Talk, Dorn.
Okay. We actually have more business down here than just delivering your cargo. I'm sure you're well aware of this situation with the roads leading to the north and the desperate situation it's putting a lot of people into.
Indeed, it has sent the financial reels into a particularly unusual circumstance.
Yes, and I'm sure this city is suffering greatly from it. And just looking at the costs of things, the damages are apparent even here, where things are even cheaper than they are further up north. And I would like to propose something of a joint effort in clearing up the road. Our group is very resourceful, as I'm sure Hecate has informed you, and we already have something of a half-cocked plan of action.
We are also in a bit of a unique position in order to aid and, as it were.
Yes. Then, with our ability to take to the skies, we should be able to, assuming the sandstorms allow us, be able to perhaps get a view on things that most people aren't able to get and assess the situation further. I would very much like to help you and your city and our people as well to clear the blockages, restore order to everyone's financial situation, quite frankly.
Well, I would love to. Well, that would be a great situation to attempt to resolve. Unfortunately, it is outside of my jurisdiction to do.
Outside of your jurisdiction, however, that does not mean you cannot provide some aid.
Or at minimum, perhaps arrange an appointment, or help us to arrange an appointment with whose jurisdiction it is under.
It is perhaps possible that I could try to arrange such with you if you can convince some other members of the council that it is more viable, then we may be able to do something for you.
Yeah, so we tend to, as some people put it, be in the business of heroics, and we've unfortunately seen a lot of people starving and, well, worse, having to go into many professions and details that are quite distasteful as a result. We would very much like to restore the people's lives to the comfort that they had. We aren't necessarily looking for compensation to clear the road, which I'm sure would be points in your favor. This is as beneficial to us as it is to you, and I'm sure with the prices of goods going down, that will pay for itself before very long.
We seem to watch and judge all of you for a few moments.
Torn just has a mostly sincere smile on his face.
Yeah.
Mostly.
And Thorak is scrutinizing him in return.
Sideline has lost complete interest and now started scanning some of the runes on the walls. Though he's still standing there politely. It's just he's been relegated to not talking, so
He's just slowly rotating his head. Not moving the rest of his body, just his head rotating.
it's not wrong.
Of course, Sideline has to first find the runes, which he's not the best perceptive person.
I can cast detect magic.
Are you casting detect magic right in front of him?
Yeah.
Please don't.
Please don't.
If Sideline starts casting, I may have to throw a pillow or something at him to try and disrupt it. Just say no. Bad Sideline.
Well, magic item. Just gonna say a word.
True, you do have a magic item that can do it.
Yeah.
So we're having a nice meeting, and Sideline just randomly blurts out avocado or something.
Guacamole.
Oh dear.
Marionette.
Guacamole. He probably says something in the ancient language and looks around the room.
He seemed to scrutinize Sideline quite a bit more than everyone else.
Mhm.
You'll have to excuse him. He's an idiot.
No, he isn't. He's just easily fascinated.
Easily fascinated and very easily distracted and bored.
These people generally prevent me from talking because I lack social skills.
I see.
He really does.
And you're not being much better, Tortes.
Well, this is something in our judge. This is something that would be best to be resolved. If you could propose a way of doing it that that you believe could actually work.
Well, this is a natural disaster, is it not? I would propose perhaps speaking to some of the more nature-inclined folk of the region. I'm sure that you are probably well aware of some druidic circles or some equivalent in your region. I've heard they do work in growing food for the city.
In some degree, yes.
It is my belief that a natural disaster such as this would be most efficiently tackled by people who are in tune with nature. While, yes, just blasting apart debris and just shoveling off loads of rocks and carting them to wherever might seem a very direct method, it is also extremely costing in a labor force and materials, whereas the druidic peoples tend not to need a lot of materials to work with and merely just people. To my understanding, the land provides their power, and applying power to the land would seem a logical conclusion to draw here.
I see.
Our current idea to convince them to help us is to explain the situation to them of what is happening up north. Unfortunately, a lot of people are tearing apart the lands up north in an attempt to feed themselves and continue on living. And with it going on for so long, it's proving more and more difficult for anyone to find anything in the wilds anymore. And eventually, people are going to have to start encroaching on the lands belonging to the northerner druids, which will create a lot of unfortunate conflicts.
Well, it's not me you need to convince to try and do this. I will try to arrange a meeting for you with Councilwoman Raminia. She is the council's resident shaman.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
How's their name spelled? Out of character.
I will go ahead and present something for you,
Thank you.
which is show to everyone.
Nice kukri.
I will arrange you a meeting. You are to convince her, and if she accepts, then we can see about moving this. Then with our joint endorsement, we will see about moving this up to a situation where we might be able to proceed.
It would help negotiations if you could provide some evidence of your willing to help us.
Me arranging the meeting for you would be more than doing that.
But arranging a meeting is different from possibly helping reimburse magical reagents necessary for larger rituals and
This
things.
this is not something in any one of our jurisdictions. It will require the cooperation of multiple council members to proceed.
Well, yes, I prefer to eliminate variables as soon as possible.
If I may butt in here. Elvis may be in bad form. I don't suppose there's anything Councilwoman Romina perhaps to particularly conform of gifts?
This sounds like a diplomacy check to convince him to tell you.
Sure.
Is it
my character
cheesecake?
sheet will open. Hopefully. I'm kind of hoping it's Onyx's.
Or cheesecake.
You know. Okay, so... Oh, with my insight bonus for learning about other humans work here.
She is in fact a human.
Ha, bitch. That's me up to like a plus 10. I'm at a plus 23. Actually, 25.
Did you count for...
Just the wind doesn't work, it's charisma.
No, I was going to say heroism and your
Yep.
moment of greatness.
Oh, yeah, no, I did account for it. Wait, 6 plus 4. Yeah, I've accounted for it. Go.
Can Thorog aid in this by well, okay. Either way, can Thorog aid in this by reading the treasure's moods and everything to help guide Sarah a bit easier? Oh.
Unless we've got like secret handshakes, which we're like, okay.
I'm telling her this information without like right in front of the councilman blaring it out.
I guess so.
Thank you.
Torn is going to, also aid, but Torn's more going to be helping Sarah collect her thoughts and word them properly.
How?
Excuse me, my word process is great.
I have a higher intelligence than you, a higher linguistics check, and a higher diplomacy check. Fuck you.
Pretty sure not higher diplomacy.
Maybe not at this moment.
Not at this moment. Like I have legislation running through my veins.
Sarah
is kind of rolled a 19, so...
Sarah's the current Captain Charisma.
Yeah.
So just
But
maybe
still, I
diplomacy
don't
and
even have
diplomacy.
to roll to aid. Not that
The
I
point, the
could
point is,
fail
I
anyway.
need justification on how are you aiding, essentially, because you didn't aid in what she was saying about that bit.
Yeah, as I was saying, help to perhaps elaborate points. Help.
What do you say? If you're saying something, what do you say?
One moment. More or less, Thorin will say something along the lines of being able to make a good first impression would certainly help us create, a good negotiation and perhaps increase our ability to resolve this situation very quickly. First impressions are perhaps the most important part of a meeting, and being able to bring something that she might enjoy would help this situation.
Who doesn't love a gift?
And besides, as a councilwoman, it feels only appropriate to possibly bring something.
Wait, did she have red hair?
This will reveal one point of intel about her.
They're good.
Nice.
You
Oh,
like strong
okay.
alcohol. Well, I just happen to have some elven absinthe.
And I also happen to have some dwarven fire whiskey. Or dwarven fire ale.
I have something that can get Torun drunk, and he can outdrink an owlbear.
Actually, do we still have any Thylorum at all?
No, you'll drink it out my ass.
No, I have it.
I'm
I have
not
one.
sure that, I'm really not sure that one is a good idea.
Yes, it is.
I personally think it is,
Yeah,
because if she is...
as he will inform you that she has a avid love of alcohol, having her own personal wine collection, and on multiple occasions goes out to the guard barracks and outdrinks half the units.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so she's a fan of drinking competitions. Me and Thorak should perform admirably against her.
Mm-hmm. It is true. She might be able to outdrink guards, but can she outdrink a
She's
dwarven monk?
unlikely to try and drinking contest you on duty.
Not on duty, of course. That would be personal business, not...
No, but yeah, perhaps we can invite her out,
Yeah. So
discuss things in a bit less of a formal setting.
yes, you have gained a piece of intel.
All right, then.
Thank
Good
you,
to
Buzz.
know.
Sweet.
Welcome to the information game.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out I'm not bad at it.
Turns out we know how to stack things in our favor.
This is Pathfinder, after all.
Yeah, notably, this is a confirmed piece of intel because it's actually a definitely true bit of intel for you.
Cool. Even if it was a lie, Thork would probably be able to tell. Sarah, thank you for joining me in the roll 19.
Anyway, would you like to proceed on with your arguments to give him? As he kind of sits back slightly.
Arguments to give him about what?
About your reward. If there's anything else you wanted.
Ah, yes.
friend.
Torn will, with that business concluded, there is one other matter I would like to ask about. I've heard you have already investigated our names, and my name in particular probably brought some notable things up in your city. To be frank, my brother was arrested recently and sent to the salt mines. And I would very much like to be able to investigate further on this matter, figure out what he was sent there for, and whether or not there would be any hope of getting him released sooner.
He was arrested on the assaulting of Council Magistrate Hezblina Gina.
Yes, but it sounded like she argued in his favor when it came to sentencing, which leads me to believe that he may have been enchanted at the time and forced to attack her. My brother is somewhat brash, but he isn't so foolish as to try and attack a councilwoman, especially without being attacked first.
It is what the records and evidence shows. And unfortunately, since it was a case involving that the councilwoman may have been impartial to, or may not have been able to be impartial to, due to obvious circumstances, it was moved up to a higher position to be judged. The Sun King's personal court handing down the decision.
I see. However, if anybody would be able to give us an idea of whether or not there would ever be hope, I suppose it would be the councilwoman in the.
She is the head of law and criminal justice for the city.
Yes, she would know the laws better than any other, so.
She wrote half the book.
Excellent.
And
I don't suppose you would.
I wish I was joking about this, but with the elves' longevity, I would not be surprised if that was true.
Yes. I don't suppose you would be able to arrange a meeting with her as well.
That will be slightly more difficult to set up. She is one of the busier of the councilmen. But
we have time. If nothing else, the issue with the roads being resolved would account for a very large amount of time.
I can put forward a slight message towards that, though.
Thank you very much.
Well, I was not quite expecting you to want a more political-based reward, but as it will.
Sir, frankly, while money is useful, yes, we came here to your country in search of, I suppose, as our reputation seems to dictate, heroics of such. We wanted to help people, help a lot of people. I wanted to be reunited with my brother, and I found his unfortunate situation when I arrived in the city.
Most adventuring travelers are far more greedy.
Well, it's nice
take
that
a
we
fat
can
portion.
still surprise people.
It is a pleasant change of company.
I am very glad to hear that, sir.
Dark, is he telling the truth on that?
What?
Does he indeed enjoy the company of the more heroic types, I guess?
The less greedy.
Yeah.
Why don't you go ahead and roll me another sense motive check?
All right.
He's a treasurer. Of course he likes people who aren't taking his gold.
Yeah. Will I be keeping the old exploit weakness check?
Nope.
What was that?
No.
Okay. Well, 19 or lower.
He is not CR 19.
That's good. Okay. I'm narrowing it down slowly.
One
He's not-
level at a time.
So he's not 20. He's not 21 or higher.
Mhm.
He's not 20 or higher.
42.
As far as you can aware, he does seem to be. He does seem to be pleasantly pleased by this.
Can I get a sense if it's through like genuine like of it, or for more, well,
They're not taking my money.
yeah.
My money.
You're not sensing that much greed out of him, honestly, despite being
Mhm.
treasurer.
Okay.
In that, that's good then. I'm good.
Zoran's going to smile and say, "Thank you. You've been a lot of help in our efforts." And speaking of generosity, I suppose while we are here and in this meeting, I should ask if there are any other issues that you might think we'd be able to help.
Your services are no longer required. We've all got work we need to be doing. At least I know I have. So I believe I believe it is time that we part ways for now.
Yes. We are staying at, such and such chateau. I forget what name it is. And you also have the location of our airship. So if there's anything you need, please do not hesitate to ask us.
Thank you. He turns and gets up from his seat, actually, using his cane to walk over. He does have a slight limp, you actually notice, as he approaches over. And he will offer a handshake to all of you, with a polite smile.
Sideline will pause, looking at his leg. He'll shake his hand, but sort of pause halfway through, looking at his leg.
Do not mind this. Simply a old wound.
Sideline, it's rude to stare.
Oh, I was merely mulling over the idea, but I don't. Sorry, people tell me this is rude, but however, I do offer the option for me. What's the term? Not upgrades. People find that rude. No, not improvements either. Replacements.
I am fine, sir. Do not worry.
He nods.
Cortez will sigh and shake his head at Sideline, but shake the councillor's hand. Thank you for your time and understanding. Looks at Sideline.
I will lead you out.
Aye.
As he'll proceed to have you follow him, though slightly slower than you'd all like. His movement speed reduced to 25 feet instead of 30 feet.
Hey, Cortez is enjoying the AC, so hey, we can spend as long as he likes here.
Fair enough. The councilman's been reduced down to a 25-foot move speed instead of a 30-foot.
I'm glad those of us that actually are faster than normal are either patient or just are greedy about air conditioning.
Okay, I'm back.
Welcome back. We're being walked out by the councilman.
Would it have been long enough for Cortez to recover his
I
one
wanted
non-lethal?
I wanted to sense motive him before the handshake to make sure he was to see if he had like a specific intent with the handshake, because Torin, being a paranoid ass, is thinking he might be planting something on us, or...
Sure, make a sense motive check against the councilor.
I am attempting to.
Sideline did have detect magic on it.
I pressed the button. Did it go off, or...
Not yet.
No.
Whatever, I'm just gonna refresh the page.
Hmm.
God, I hate my internet.
Mine's been crapping out even more. My laptop's been handling it. Not really.
Mine's been wobbling up a little bit.
Mine works perfectly. Whee!
Thankfully, Roll20 doesn't tend to break too much.
It just hasn't
Breaking
reached you yet, Sideline. Slowly, the internet's just cascade failing.
Yeah, I'm
Soon
glad this is
we
more
will
a social
live in a
setting at the
world
current
without
second.
it.
If you turn this into a combat, I would have a whole hell of a problem with my internet connection right now.
Well,
Yeah.
time to stab the councillor.
With his 25-foot move speed limp.
Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute, behind the limp, he's moving decently fast. But again, he does have his nice cane.
Ooh, maybe it's some thingamabobbit.
It is a slightly magical cane, Sideline would have noticed when he rotated around the room, looked at everything in the room that was sparkling. Including the councillor himself was sparkling with magic, because of course he was.
Did he steal the cane off Aquilo? Is it the one Shunda made oh so long ago?
Don't cast open close on it; it'll blow up.
Yes, I believe, let's see, you've revealed now 2 administrative councillors and 1 magical councillor? Yes.
Yeah. So we have law, magic, other magic,
And
treasure.
Well, you have one more. Well, not really. You have 1 magic councillor, which is the shaman, and then treasure and
Arcane.
law. And you got told that there was a new magician.
Magistrator?
Yeah, there are 2 very similar titles, Magister and Magistrate.
Yeah, when you said that, I was like, wait.
Mhm.
Okay, right, I get you.
Oh, there we go. Motherfucker.
The Magister is the master of magic, the Magistrate is the master of laws.
Basically the same thing.
Jesus Christ, my fucking internet today.
Calm down, Dave. It's only the internet.
Could just try rolling manually.
Hey,
Oh,
it
there we
went
go.
through. 33.
You don't see any other intent than being friendly.
Okay, then Torin will shake his hand.
And you'll be led personally down the hallway through the building.
Slowly.
With all the people who are mega fast and can be moving like double his move speed.
Cast
Not-
Expedition Retreat.
Not caring because they either they're patient or they're enjoying the air conditioning. I do.
Yes. I imagine as they're walking, Torin would probably mention, if the councilman enjoys a drink or two himself, we all tend to enjoy a good drink now and then. And Torin has brought some foreign alcohols if he's interested in trying them.
One moment. My laptop is glitching out.
Uh,
Well, its internet's working better. My laptop is just definitively slower and not as powerful.
Mhm.
Gotta love laptops.
So what's the plan for after we're out of here?
A good question.
send people
Info
to
gathering.
Info gathering on what? Exactly.
Well, of course, on a certain magistrate or magister, whichever one. The shaman.
Law one.
No,
All right.
shaman,
I'll be right back.
as well as possibly law.
Yeah, she doesn't have magistrate, she's council shaman.
Yeah, that's it.
Like, just trying to find out like what sort of things she likes and stuff.
Mhm.
First, let's drink too
Oh,
much
he
about
gets
the
drunk
leeway.
easily.
Oh, adorable.
them. Perhaps some tea then, sometime.
Perhaps.
I hear the city has some great tea houses.
It does. As he leads you down to the stairs, your path is brief The path is briefly crossed by a rather elegant robe-wearing halfling.
Hmm.
It's Escalon.
Can I? Dark, can I?
Hmm?
Can I do a sense motive to sort of, estimate their prowess then? Just
Of the-
something Thorok does normally whenever he sees people.
Sure, you want to exploit weakness of the halfling.
Exploit weakness and then sense motive to estimate prowess and such. Are they CR21 or lower?
Yes.
Alright then.
You're still not dealing with a certain person's sister.
No. 42. Again.
She seems overly happy. She seems overly happy and perfectly buzzed. Though she definitely clearly has a almost it's slightly intimidating to Forok with there's a clear look in her eye as she's kind of looking at the group with a smile. That she is more than a peppy little halfling.
Question: does she have a
Certainly
scent?
knows. She does have a scent.
Okay, so it's probably not a scorn.
I mean, you can also recognize her voice from over the intercom. Is something I was going to bring up.
Oh,
You know what? I bet she's the spy master.
But there is something in her eyes that strikes you slightly. That it's almost like you could fall into an ocean of things in her head. That there is more in there than there should be available. It's odd.
Far more than meets the eye, as it were.
Mm-hmm.
her head's bigger on the inside.
Though it's very hard for you to actually read too much about her. Incredibly hard.
Quite the expert in carrying herself as well.
To be precise, you receive no additional information, including about her bow or feats.
That's what I thought. That's
For you to get more, you must overcome a caster level check, which you can't.
Oh, interesting.
You can't make a caster level check. You don't have one.
Wouldn't it be a save for me then?
No.
Interesting.
Your ability states you must beat on a caster level, which you physically cannot.
Interesting as well, since mine is my estimations and everything are purely mundane.
Exactly. The point is you need magic to overcome it.
Interesting.
Meanwhile, Torin is just giving a polite bow.
She is peppy and talks to the councilman for a few moments, giving him a couple of updates, seemingly informing him that his arcane matrix is currently being loaded and brought up here.
Oh, I see.
Well, more likely being brought to his manor, but it's in a more important part of town. Not directly to the palace. And then a few minutes later, she bows. After the conversation's over, she bows to all of you, and asks that all of you have had a nice visit.
Yes, thank you very much.
And she will happily walk off elsewhere into the building. And the councilman will continue going, apologizing for the inconvenience.
Oh, no inconvenience.
Aye.
It's
Also
quite
introduce
polite.
who exactly who that was to you.
Your secretary?
Oh, she's adorable.
He is.
Oh god, no, Torin. Stop. It's been
I-
5
I-
seconds.
I was thinking head pats and cookies adorable, thank you very much.
Wow, J-Mac.
Yes, she is the council steward responsible for the day-to-day runnings of the palace, the servants, the guards, etc.
Mm-hmm. She knows. Of course, she would know far more than what she let on. But she.
every single servant is her eyes and ears.
Wait,
Point the information
Gyleria.
about her.
Mm-hmm.
she's from Gyleria.
Yes.
Ah, I know some people from Gyleria actually.
The elf you have back at the
Yes.
the healer elf who's been maintaining Verdun's corpse. Their entire band came from Galeria.
Yep.
Yes.
Interesting.
Priestess Utala.
Hmm?
Hmm?
Interesting to see a northerner working in such a high position here.
Well, she's more of an Easterner than anything.
Eastern, still more north than here.
She's been here for quite a while. She is deeply trusted by the inner circle.
Hmm.
She was here with the last administration as well.
Ah, I see.
No, please come on. And she is absolutely adorable. Almost having a face that you couldn't tell a lie with it. No.
That's the best faces to tell lies with.
Exactly.
She looks innocent like a child.
Mhm.
Never trust the halflings. Their other half is very secret.
She, definitely got the childlike and everything. So
Well, just like you, Fork. Just a
Thorok
very
is astoundingly not childlike. He has
You're
a
just a-
beard that's as long as his body.
Yeah, but
You're just a
all
very
dwarfs
large
have
child.
beards.
Also, congrats! You've now met 3 of the 4 Ministry members.
Yeah. Wait, 4?
There are 4 Ministry members.
Oh, right. Oh,
You
jeez.
don't know. There are 4 Ministry, 4 military. You've met none of the military. 4 magical.
So there's 12 overall.
Well, then there is also the members of the Inner Circle, which brings it up to 16.
Oh, jeez.
I'm betting the last administrative member is probably someone like Spy Master or the
The last one would, in fact, be the Spy Master.
Oh, let's open foreign relations.
I think that's the steward. The steward is
Maybe.
PR.
What was that? Oh yeah, PR is generally handled by the steward. Yeah. The combination of the steward and probably the Inner Circle themselves, given that includes the king.
Sure.
Anyway, you are led back towards the front of house, where the councillor will greet you all to have a nice day.
Yes, you too.
And it's almost as you arrive, a group of people wearing a shawl with a certain emblem on it that some of you may recognize that of the royal tax collectors comes back.
Oh, here comes his army.
of which he immediately takes that group off to go to a meeting elsewhere in the building.
Well, that was highly successful.
It was.
I mean,
We
they
didn't
go
get
wrong.
thrown out or attacked or anything, so it's gone pretty well.
Hmm.
You did a job well done. He appreciates that.
Yeah. Better
Moved
than a lot
something
of
from
our
point A to
meetings.
point B.
It also allowed us to get
You'll be amazed
size
at
up
how many
these-
people screw that up, Zara.
Yeah, but we're not FedEx.
Also allowed us to size up one or two of the
That
main
and
council members.
that and I feel the halfling was sizing us up.
Yeah, she's really
she-
short, isn't she?
Most assuredly, she was.
It wasn't that short. For a half.
I mean, she's a halfling.
Also, she knows far more than she let
She is
on.
pretty short. She's like 3'2".
I mean, I'm pretty sure most of the
She's
council
taller
work
than
they let on.
Celia is. She's an inch taller than Celia.
Still trusted by the inner circle, even and served in the previous administration.
She is far more powerful. That's all.
Again, very the council.
I don't trust her.
You don't trust anyone.
I
But
don't
you
know.
may,
If
you
I
may have
cancel.
a point this time.
What would the childish halfling ever do?
Not really ready to trust anyone on the council at this point. Mostly because A, we don't know them, and B, points to, some palace.
I like
I would-
her.
Roll
will-
seems honest enough.
I
Everyone has their own agenda.
That is certainly something you will learn to be true. Everyone here has an agenda. I mean, he just bought 70 tons of arcade matrix.
To bring people back from the dead. Presumably.
Mm-hmm.
perhaps.
Oh no, I can tell you though, if it was XCOM, like you have the avatar has like a bar, his own personal bar, and it's got like 3 steps.
Well, now we just need to wait for him to, do the do. Connect us.
By the time you get out of it, it's only like midday.
Don't forget to pick up your gear before we leave.
Yes,
Yeah.
those-
Oh,
Pick
yep,
up my
that's
bag.
right back.
Those of you who
I
handed
should
in,
be the one reminding you all of that.
yes, those of you who handed in gear can certainly go around to the lockers, put the key in, take out their gear. The keys remain in the lockers afterwards.
And make sure everything is still there and hasn't been tampered with.
It doesn't seem to be.
It's hard to remember what I handed over, but somehow he manages it.
It feels like everything is still there.
Sadlin pauses for a moment, thinks, turns to his friends and says, "Well, what's our next course of action?"
Well,
Gathering information, making contacts until our next meeting, basically.
AKA do what you want, basically.
Well, then I'm going to suggest something.
Hmm.
oh dear.
That we all sort of pitch in a bit of money, because we will be fixing the various road things. And I do believe that, well, a lot of knowledge of nature and how things like that will function. And perhaps an upgrade to my headband of vast intelligence would be in order, allowing me to actually better understand nature and stuff like that.
Essentially, he wants to dump skill points into nature using the headband upgrade.
As great of an idea as that is, money.
I
it
think
is.
if
I
we go
would
for
think not.
I would think if we do something like that, we wait until our after our next meeting, because she may be able to put us in touch with the druids and such.
And one
She
thing I
gives us
would
the
like to
go-ahead.
ask is would it not be cheaper to just make another headband?
I suppose it would be.
Make a temporary headband and sell it later when you don't use it.
Or I
Just
could just use it if it's a headband of intelligence. That's extremely useful for me.
It would max out your skill ranks in this knowledge nature by doing so.
Yeah, let's do that instead. You don't have a headband, do you, Torin?
No, I do not.
That would be better in order.
6,000 gold. In order to make it.
And unfortunately, I'm very nearly out of the bulk of my funds.
I would still recommend waiting until after meetings and possibly
Let's do
talking
that, then.
to other druids and such in the area.
Did we say when we'd have a meeting time?
No,
He's
going
already
to arrange
back.
a
No,
meeting.
he will let us know when a meeting is arranged and for what time.
Fair enough.
Oh, well, however, one thing that we're going to need to do right now is to learn more about this councilwoman and.
I was listening
Well-
by the way, and while I was listening in, but I was gone. I couldn't activate the mic. One thing I would ask before I left is, is the councilman if he would require any assistance setting it up? One thing Hecate keeps me around for is my magical aptitude.
No, he seemed pretty confident in his own abilities.
Help is never a problem.
He appreciates it, but
Also, the fact that I feel like his stewardess might.
well, she's the stewardess of she is the royal stewardess of the entire castle, not.
True. True.
In that case, that's actually being transported to his personal home, which is actually outside of the castle grounds.
Mm-hmm.
And given the size of that damn thing, oh god, he must have a huge home,
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
or
It's on the council.
or a ginormous basement. One of them.
Both.
Mm-hmm.
Pity those who have to carry it into a basement.
They're getting paid for.
He's probably got mages on payroll. That might
Let's
have
be honest.
to check.
Let's be honest. He's one of the top 16.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, plus he has access to the entire city's funds.
Well, he might not be able to freely just kind of throw them.
No,
out.
he can't. No, but
He needs a permit for that.
he knows how to get funds when he needs them.
Be careful about those jokes. You'll be speaking to the person who's responsible for and handing out those permits soon.
Yep.
Mm.
Oh, God.
Or stripping you of all the permits.